I'm spending my whole weekend in my pajamas. The whole thing for me is I'm trying to save you time, money, and energy. I have got a PhD in life. So, like, what do I care what some random person on the internet thinks of me? A new year, new me. You gotta have some fun. God, Tim, everything you touch just, like, is amazing. And I want to tell that person, no, it's not. I'm only trying to make one person happy, and that's Tim Castleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to this week's episode of Tim Talks. I'm your host, Tim Castleman. I wonder if I should stop doing that and just kind of get into it. Like, you know, this is episode 50-something. Like, you know what Tim Talks is. You've listened to it. I don't know if I have to introduce it at the beginning of every episode, right? But Tim, the branding, you see, we've talked to the experts, and what they say is you need to have your show branded, needs to be consistent, right? Needs to be towards the middle. We don't want to offend. We don't want to offend at all, okay? That's somebody else's podcast. That's someone who's like, I'm trying to do something with my life and not have my whole career ruined. Once my podcast is uncovered, I'm like, oh, that you could do that, huh? That's very interesting. Very interesting. But not what I'm doing. Instead, I'm sitting here going, man, what am I doing with this podcast? So last week was our biggest viewed episode on YouTube. Yes, all these episodes, in addition to being where your podcasts are on youtube.com. And I think we had 50 viewers of it on YouTube, which, hey, every journey starts with a step. And I get that, and I understand it on a intellectual level. Maybe my ego's getting involved here. We're just going deep this week, and I'm upset about that. Like, my ego's like, why don't people listen to me? I don't understand why people don't listen to me. Why people don't listen? I even sent it out to my email list. Everyone on my email list. I was like, hey, tens of thousands of people. Here's my podcast. And I don't know if you did the math, probably 0.0000000000001. People were like, oh, you know what? I'll check it out. Now I get it, right? It's not the pandemic where people are bored. They're at home. They're trying to fill their time. They're trying to be distracted. We're out here. We're hustling. It's also the summertime, which I don't care what anybody says. I project this onto the situation. I believe in a summertime slowdown, not only for us on this side, but also for you out there in the world. You civilians, as I heard some asshole comment on a podcast. I was like, are you kidding me? Look. It's hotter than two rats fucking in a wool sock here in Texas. It's going to be 106 degrees tomorrow. But don't worry, it's a dry heat, they say. Now listen to me, friends. I have a rule. June, July, August, September, if you're feeling squirrely, Fat Boy Tim stays inside. I enjoy a beautiful biodome at 70 degrees. No matter what the outside conditions are. My friends are like, you got to go outside more, man. You got to get yourself used to it. Because when we go to Mexico, it's going to be hot. And I'm like, no, it is. I agree 100%. It is totally going to be warm there. But you don't seem to understand. See, in Mexico, I'm going to be wearing one of those no sunburn shirts, right? In the pool, drinky. It gets hot. I go under the water. Not hot no more. I'm not getting out to pee. These resorts are killing people with carbon monoxide. You think I'm going to worry about pissing in their pool now? Not the resort we're going to, hopefully. All I am saying, friends, is there's no way in hell that I'm going to worry about peeing in a pool when these resorts are selling poison liquor and carbon monoxide. It's like, what the? Huh? Okay. Weird flex, but all right. I'm going to be in the pool. Going to be nice and cool. So I keep my ass inside. And this year, I'm actually proud of myself. Little ego tug, little rub and tug to myself. I've actually been productive during the summer, which is not like that. Normally, school's out, Tim's out. Now, I will always like to dictate that, we're not talking about a productivity study here at Harvard. All right? more productive than most. But we celebrate every step and every win, and we just keep going podcast after podcast into oblivion until we're either recording these from a homeless shelter or I'm telling Joe Rogan, I'm coming for you, bitch. I'm not coming for you, bitch. You're not a bitch, Joe. I'm sorry. Very, very interesting things going on behind the scenes, working on some programs. Bought a big lot of Jay Abraham stuff. Someone had passed away, I believe. So it was an estate sale. It was total dumb luck. I came across it. I bought a huge packet of stuff from that. It got delivered in a big old fucking box. I was like, oh, the guy was like, this box is heavy. I was like, oh, you do this for a living and you're telling me it's heavy. I don't do this for a living. I'm going to just agree with you. So I got a bunch of his stuff that I'm going through. Got halfway through a book and then just stopped because I was like, well, when the third reference was to, you might have to rent a computer device. And you're like, okay, all right, okay, maybe this isn't the most current and up-to-date information in 2023. Thank you, by the way. I should have let off the podcast with gratitude and say thank you to everyone that left a comment, watched, reviewed, subscribed to Tim Talks, and enjoyed our little Cuba escapade. A couple of fun things I left out when we were leaving. That's the only thing I can remember on that list. But when we were leaving, I was bringing back some cigars. I think you're allowed to do that. Everyone told me I was allowed to do that. So I'm under the impression that I was allowed to do that. Unfortunately, even though I bought them from the La Casa de Habano, they did not come with a sticker, which leads me to believe that somebody just pocketed that money. But what do I know, right? So as a result, they tried to stop me. Now, the guy in front of me had a lighter. So she grabs my bag. She goes, lighter. I'm like, no, that guy has a lighter. And she goes, what? I said, ma'am, that gentleman over there, he has the lighter. Now, what I'm really trying to do is leave my bag alone that's got the 50 cigars that they said I could take. You're not taking these over my cold, dead hands. Of course, I would have given them up perfectly. I would have been like, you know what? I'm so sorry. So allegedly, right, I'm just pointing over to this guy, and I'm like, that guy, that's your fucking Agent X. That's Osama right there. I'm not. White American, Tim, Osama, get him, right? By the way, he was a Cuban gentleman that lived in Florida. So calm down. Before you start writing your letters to my no sponsors. So she opens up. She goes, you don't have a sticker. And I'm like, I don't speak Spanish because I don't. And the guy who I narked, right? Don't put me in prison. I'll narc everybody out, right? They'll put me in protective custody day 2. Because day 1, I'd be like, oh, Johnny said he was going to stab Tony. And Tony said he was going to, I would not do that. I'm not a narc. Not going to do it. So the guy comes back and he's like, oh, yeah, I have a lighter. Here you go. And I'm like, fuck, you gave that up super quick. And then she starts looking at my bag again. I'm like, no, you've caught the terrorist, right? You've taken away his tweezers, his whatever. You've taken it from him. Let's go. Let me go. She opens up. She goes, you don't have a sticker. He says some words in Spanish. And he goes, don't worry about it, my friend. You're good to go. And I'm like, oh, shit. That guy had no idea. I was ready to slit his throat in a moment's notice and be like, that guy. I almost faked a seizure just so they would stop fucking with my bag and the possibility of taking away my cigars. Follow your dreams, kids. Follow your dreams. Came back, a man possessed. Said, hey, I have a project. It needs to get done. Let's get it done. I got it done. Then I said, all right, project done. Part 1 accomplished. Part 2, we got to pitch Russell Brunson. You see, we got Funnel Hacking Live 2023 coming up. And I think this project would be a great bonus to you. I think you could do some really interesting things. I'm trying to be vague. All right, here's what I know. Don't be vague, Tim. Yeah. Russell's probably listening to this and be like, don't be vague. I'm like, sorry. All right. My friends are like, tell me everything. All right. So I get the project done and I just start thinking, okay, well, this is a Dan Kennedy course that Russell Brunson and his company own, Magnetic Marketing, and it's part of that whole magnetic marketing program. So he owns it. And I was like, well, what's a way that this could benefit Russell and look good and make him look good? And provide value to him, and he provides value to his audience. And then that's the circle of life in business, right? I help this guy so he could help these people. We keep doing it. before I pitched him, I talked to a few friends about it because, I'm nervous. You got to understand, like, to me, right or wrong, in the world that I'm in, Russell Brunson is the Don. Can you tell I bought Godfather 1 and 2, and I've been watching them every night since? But he's the Don Corleone, right, of the family. I don't know of anybody online in the spaces that he's in that's doing what he's doing. I just don't. He's also an extremely busy man. This guy went on vacation and was recording content videos and sharing stuff for Facebook and all of this. I mean, it's crazy, man. The guy does not stop. Today, he's dedicating a self-improvement center that they're building that's also going to have some event space to it. The whole part being that they're doing that nonstop. He's just like, yep, I got funnel hacking here. I got Dan Kennedy stuff there. I got the self-improvement thing. I'm doing this. I'm doing X. I'm doing Y. I'm doing Z. All of these things. And you're like, holy crap, man. So I talked to a couple friends, and we come up with some ideas. One of my friends is like, you got to charge him, bro. So I tell him what I think to be an astronomical number to ask for. 5 digits, in case you're wondering. He goes, oh, that's way too low. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like, I'm going to have to rehearse the amount of money 10 times in the mirror, dumbass, in the mirror, before I even pitch him. I'm like, okay, Russell Brunson, here's this report. It's 41 pages. It covers Dan Kennedy's opportunity, and it's X number of dollars, right? And my friend's like, you got to 2 times 5 that. I'm like, who are you? What are you doing? What are you talking about? I feel like the air that I suggest we fly at is high enough and barely breathable, and now you want me to go 2.5 times higher? You want me to go 2.5 times higher. Who you messing with, SA? Don't you know I'm loco? But I'm not loco enough to ask that, but I'm like, maybe I should. So I reach out to Russell. I go, hey, Russell. Tim Castleman, your humble servant to the southwest of Texas, right? Hey, I'd like to send you an email. Can I have your email address? Because, busy, important people, they change their emails all the time. They change their phone numbers all the time. They're shakers, movers. They got an A phone, a B phone, a C phone. They got this and that. So he gives me the email address, and I go, hey. That's the email address I already had. Well, don't I seem smart reaching out and be like, hey, Russell, can I have the thing I already have access to? That's great. Thank you. So he sends me the email. Now, I sit down, and I spend hours on this email. An hour on this email. How about that? Probably more realistic. All right, I'm reading, I'm rereading, I'm backing and forth, and I'm reading it out loud. I'm this and I'm that, and I'm ready. And I'm like, okay, all right, I think I got it. I think I have it laid out. The email, is basically like, hey, I know you're busy. I'll let you get right to it. I'm not going to read the whole fucking thing because I don't want to go look it up. But, I'm like, hey, I know you're busy. Here's what I got. Here's what I think it will do for you. Are you interested? Send it off to 2 friends. And I'm like, hey, check this out. Make sure I don't have, any obvious typos or stupid statements. Like, well, Russell, I hate you, but I think this could still value you. It's like, hey, take that line out. One, I don't hate him. That's just a terrible joke. It's a terrible joke. That one didn't land. They don't all land. If the sub disaster of this week has taught us anything, not everything that goes down comes back up. So, send it to the friends. I get a thumbs up. I hit send. Then I get a phone call from my friend who I sent the email to. And I'm like, shit, I can't take this thing back. I've already sent it. It's already outside this take back window. This is going to be like, oh man, I totally forgot that you told him that you wanted to hit on his wife in the email that you were going to send him. And I forgot to tell you to take out that line. So I answer the email. And my buddy goes, hey man, it's a pretty good email. And I'm thinking to myself, thank you. It's almost as if I've been writing emails since 2009 for commercial purposes. So wait, I have been doing that. Okay, cool. He said, good email. I liked how it ended, because I wasn't, this is a first date. This is a Hey, how you doing? What do you like? What's your favorite type of wine? Oh, tell me how many dogs. Do you have siblings? Where'd you grow up in? Oh, that sounds so fun. Best vacation. What are your 5-year plans, your goals, all of these things, right? I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to be like, hey, let's have a coffee. And then let's see, are you even interested in maybe us going out on a date? So I left it open. I said, hey, this is what I got. Let me know if you're interested. I don't hear anything. And I'm like, you know what? Russell's a busy, busy man. It's been, I don't know, maybe a week. I don't know. I'm impatient. It wasn't like 12 hours later. I know he's busy, but I was like, well, crap. And then I was like, well, shit, I can't just like, floating this back to the top of your inbox, shit like that. I should probably redo this without the cussing at some point, because if Russell ever is like, I want to share this experience, but the fact that you used MFer 10 times within the first 3 minutes kind of prohibits that. Also, I showed my wife a photo of you. You're disgusting. Like, oh, okay. Didn't have to go there. So I'm like, crap. I haven't heard back from him. I know he's busy. I want to reestablish contact with him, but I can't do it the same way. Doesn't make sense to send him an email or to, regarding or any crap like that. It just doesn't make sense to do that. Right? It clearly, whatever I sent didn't work or didn't make him stop enough to be like, oh, damn, I got to talk to Tim right now. Pick up the bat phone. Wouldn't that be cool if Russell had like the ability of the president just to be like, find me, this man? Be like, excuse me? Be like, find him. Be like, sir, what are you talking about? Find him. Be like, okay, great. Well, I'm on the line in like 5 minutes. Thank you. So then I said, well, if I want to negotiate with Russell Brunson, he's, playing hard to get. He's playing a hard ball here. Maybe he knows. Maybe he has my phone tapped and he knows what my friend was suggesting that I ask him for. And by the way, there were a lot of things I thought about. I thought, well, it could be cash, right? It could be like, hey, I want this stupid, obnoxiously expensive thing that I refuse to buy myself. It could be, let me come to an event. It could just be, whatever. I don't know. All I want to do is see if they want to go out on the second date, right? So I decide, well, if the first way isn't going to or didn't do enough to attract an immediate response or a response within a week, okay, I need to attack the situation differently. So what do? I go out and I buy a black background, but a really cool one. This one, hold on. Let me look here. Amazon.com. In fact, I'm having another one delivered on Monday. Why? Because, it's actually delivered today. Well, that's badass. I will go grab it. It's a retractable screen, RAUBAY, and apparently it's out in my driveway, so I'll need to go pick that up here in a second, which is awesome. So I bought one of these. It's retractable. It's cool. It's not that heavy. It's easy to carry, et cetera, et cetera. Set it up in my kitchen area. I have to move the kitchen table back. Then I got to wait because it's a small screen, hence why I bought a bigger one. Then I realized, crap, I can't shoot this because the screen's not big enough to block out the sun back there, which means we're going to have to wait until night time to send it to him and shoot it first. So I write out a few bullet points, make sure I got the bullet points from the email still, And Daddy does what Daddy does. He hits record. At most I'll do 2 takes of something. I hate to say it like this, but I am a let's get it out there and let's see what happens type of guy, more than I am on the 15th take, I was really able to accentuate the word guarantee. So I shoot the video. I edit it a little bit, nothing too crazy. And then I pop it up on Facebook. So went email to email inbox, attempt 1 to contact Russell. That didn't work. Okay, now I'm going video. I'm doing Facebook. Different vertical, Facebook, different way of contacting him, not just a wall of text. Hey, here's a video you could watch at your convenience. And I drop it in there. I don't think I even put any text to accompany it. I was just like, he knows what this is about, I'm sure. In the video, I basically say, hey, man, I know you're busy. And I reference a few things that he did recently because I follow what the Don is doing, right? I said, I know you're busy. You probably haven't even had a chance to read my email yet, right? Most people, well, you haven't read my email, you stupid son of a, and it's like, no, man. I know who you are, right? So you probably haven't had a chance to read your email. Maybe an assistant filed it in a to be read, never filed. Who knows? Something may have happened. The synapses may not have occurred. Who knows? What I do know, though, is this. Here's a video recap of everything. Short, sweet, to the point. I think it was like 3 minutes. I post it to him, and then I watch his Facebook stories, and it's like, I'm on vacation with my family, and I'm like, I'm a piece of shit. I can't believe I did that. I cannot believe I did that. I've just ruined my chances. I'm never going to be allowed, right? I'm never going to be allowed to go back again. They're going to be like, oh, you're not doing follow hacking notes anymore. Russell's wife still thinks you're a pig, and who do you think you are? Interrupting Russell Brunson's vacation. Who do you think you are? So I drop it and I give it some time. I don't know. May have been a day. May have been 2 days. Maybe even 3 days. But ding. And I open my Facebook Messenger from Russell Brunson. And there's a voice memo. And it's 47 seconds long. And I start getting a panic attack. Because I think, well, that's not a long time. That surely isn't, you've been accepted with a full ride scholarship to funnel hacking you. This is more of a, we thank you for applying, we've gone in another direction. So, when I tell you, dear listeners, that I waited 4 hours, at least, while having to be talked off a ledge by those who love and care about me, as I obsessed incessantly about this, going, oh man, this is going to be bad. Russell never swears, but he's going to swear here. Things of that nature, right? I don't know. 47, maybe he's like giving the coordinates to his hit team to have me taken, off the earth. Maybe he's got lawyers that fly in off of parachutes and stuff like that. Just they fly, okay, you're in Lubbock. Go sue this guy, Tim Castleman, for thinking he could do this. Doop. And then he drops a button. And I'm like, shit. Okay. I do everything I can to psych myself up for this. Pour myself a drink. I eat an ice cream bar. I hit the old stickiest of the ickiest. This is a dramatic demonstration of what I was doing right before. With a lot more, oh man, I'm really scared, man. I'm really scared, man. But then I think, you know what? Hey, you've survived. Your marriage turning to shit. Your business turning to shit. Your dating life turning to shit. Family issues. Business issues. Relationships. And you have survived them all. So no matter what happens, the sun is still going to rise in the east and set in the west. And we'll be okay. We'll be fine. No matter what. So let's go ahead and hit that play button. So I creep the cursor up there. This is after, by the way, trying to talk my girlfriend into listening to it for me. I was like, well, you're going to be down next weekend. Maybe I just don't listen to it for a week, and then you can check it out, and then we can this and that, and you know what I mean? It's a lot. Then I decided to be a man, so I hit play. It's like, bam, hit play. And wouldn't you know it, just like it's always been, it was a very nice message. basically reminding me that he's on vacation. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I know. Not in a negative way. He's just like, hey, man, yeah, I'm on vacation with the family here. I did get your email. I did watch the video. And then he told me what they're doing, which I'm not going to reveal here. But basically, they already have something in the works is the easiest way to describe it, right? And he was like, but I'd love to see what you wrote. And even more, I want to know, what do you want from this? Like, what is your ask for doing this? He's like, get back to me when you can. I'm like, yes, sir. So now the whole dynamic has changed, right? If he didn't have something going on, at least in my brain, I would have pitched him. I would have written him an email and said, hey, man, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I want for it. But now I'm trying to set up a hot dog stand for you, and you're like, hey, we already have the hot dog stand under development. And I'm like, oh, no, right? The castle fades in my what the hell do they call them? Vision boards, right? I just remember I made those for a short while. They're really helpful, by the way. No bullshit. They really were. But we had some help that was needed on one of the AC units that went out, so we need to call in a technician guy. And I remember before he came over, my wife pulled that board off the wall, and I was just like, "What the fuck are you doing that for?" Like that's weird. I never did get a chance to ask her that. Although I feel like if there was a chance to ask questions, that of the list of questions I would have for her, that would probably be towards the bottom of things that I'd want an explanation from. But I digress. I just thought about the vision board thing. Yeah, it's like, no, the private jet just goes away, right? Me becoming the CEO of ClickFunnels just dissipates. You know what I'm saying? Some things, all my hopes and dreams are crushed. And I was just like, okay, well, hey, no big deal. Took a couple puffs of air, was like, hey, I'm good on this. I'm really good on this. And as a result, I'll survive, and we'll just keep going with what our original plan was with it. And instead of asking for anything, I'm just going to give it to him. So that's exactly what I did. I emailed him. I said, hey, Russell, here's the project. Here's the Google Doc link, so you guys can just copy and paste. If there's anything you like from in there and want to use it for your own, you're more than welcome to. I don't currently have an ask. I did have an ask if things went one way, but now they went way two. I don't have an ask for that. And as a result, I don't have anything to ask you right now. When I do have an ask, I'll reach out, and if it makes sense, we can do business together. Thanks for everything you've done. Ba-bam. So I didn't get tons of riches. I don't think this project will see the light of day, especially in the way that I wanted it to. But I still feel good about it because, one, I did the whole thing myself, which is an increasingly rare thing for me to do a project from beginning to end. So I got the project accomplished. I was proud of it. It was done before I sent it, so I didn't have the whole thing of like, let me promise something and then I have to create it. And I got to chat with my old friend Russell Brunson for a few minutes. So to me, I'll take that as a win. I survived negotiating with Russell Brunson. I accomplished the project, and now we're already on to our next one. I thought it was going to be the Jay Abraham stuff, and it may still be at a later date, but I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. And there is something that I am feeling that I'm kind of working on right now. I had a long talk with my therapist about a lot of guilt when I start a project and don't end it. And she's just like, yeah, but there's a reason why you do these things. It's just not haphazard. Like, you liked the book you were reading about Jay Abraham, then you thought it was out of date, right? Yeah, so you didn't think it'd be helpful? No, okay. Or as helpful maybe as it once was? Yeah. So you just changed directions. Like, you're perfectly fine. In fact, it'd be stupid for you not to do that. I was like, oh. So what you're saying is I had the right inclination and I shouldn't beat myself up over all the time on it? She's like, something like that. I'm like, sweet, I'm here for that. Just like I am here for you guys because I am not the CEO of ClickFunnels because he didn't accept my offer. I'm okay. Forward. Always forward. Never too attached to the end result, just trying to enjoy the journey along the way. I would actually not enjoy being the CEO of a company like ClickFunnels. You know what? I say that guys, this wasn't even anything on the menu. I'm just talking out loud here, right? Everyone's like, yeah, we're perfectly well aware, Tim, that Russell Brunson isn't like, oh, you sleep till noon every day? Yeah, you sound like the guy that should run my multi-million-dollar, 9-figure company into the ground. I'm like, oh, yeah, you bring up a good point. I would have to live a life similar to what Russell does, I think, to be the CEO of that company, and I don't have that desire. What do I desire to do? What I got in the works. What I got in the works. Which I'll tell you about on a future episode of Tim Talks, because I got to go outside in 99-degree weather. Hope I don't perish long enough to grab my retractable screen so that I can have not one, but two of them now. The other one's going back home, by the way. So I can start maybe shooting some more video. Time will tell, friends. Time will tell.